I started reading tarot it's probably been about a year and a half now, actually. Tarot cards started as a playing card game, actually, sometime in like the Middle Ages, let's call it. And I don't know exactly how it happened, but they came to be a fortune-telling device by like soothsayers and mystics, and it traveled over to America when people colonized it. And they're still considered a fortune-telling device, but it's a little more, secular now. So I was already familiar with it, and then when I got older, I just kind of picked up because they're fun, they're pretty. I'm in the more secular side, so I don't really use it to like strictly tell people's fortunes, but it's a good meditation device. You start with a question or a statement or some kind of inquisition, and you focus on it, you meditate on it while you're shuffling the cards. Then you cut the cards and you lay them down in the pattern of whatever spread you pick. The 3-card spread is the most popular, but there's 5, 7, 10, there's like a 20-card spread too, I think. So in tarot, there's 2 major groups. There's the major arcana and the minor arcana. And the major arcana represents a spot along the journey of the self. So you start with the Fool, who's usually represented by like a baby, or one of my decks uses a baby chick as the imagery. And the idea is that you know nothing, you're inexperienced, you aren't very wise, and by the end of it, you're like a fully actualized and realized individual. The minor arcana are split up into 4 suits similar to playing cards, and each suit represents a different earthly element and usually different aspects of the self. Like one suit deals with emotions, one deals with your thoughts, one deals with like your earthly well-being, that kind of stuff. They have gotten more popular, especially in the past like 2 decades, but I think it's kind of our version of the flower power movement of the 60s, or like, you know, the 70s had disco. I think the occult they're kind of this generation's form of counterculture. I don't believe tarot cards hold any inherent like true divinatory quality, but I do believe in using them in a secular way to answer questions about yourself or to work through personal growth questions. And none of these things are really like fast and true and hard answers. It's more of like, I like to look at it as a conversation with a friend or an acquaintance even, and maybe they give you a different school of thought or a different perspective that you hadn't thought of before.